Our next guest is a big believer in the promise of outsourcing, which is a powerful but often misunderstood business tool. Joining us to share the latest Outsourcing Impact Review, which aims to spotlight societal impacts and transformation achieved through strategic outsourcing, is Derek Gallimore. Derek, welcome back to Market Edge. Good to see you. Hi.
Hi, Michelle. How are you? Great to see you again.
Good, good. So, Derek, the Philippines IT BPO industry is so vibrant. It's helping hold up the economic sky against all of these macro uncertainties we're seeing. 1.6 million direct jobs in the Philippines, contributing 8% to GDP. It is a powerhouse, clearly, but other than the bottom line, other than the monetary impact, what good has this outsourcing done to communities where it thrives?
Absolutely, Michelle, and thanks for having me on the show. Look, outsourcing is absolutely booming, but it's quite a polarizing industry. People outside of outsourcing, everyone within outsourcing knows what such a positive impact it is. But everyone outside of outsourcing tends to misconstrue it for either slave labor or unethical treatment of people, or even Americans call us traitors. And so it's quite a controversial topic. And of course, people in America and across the world are trying to reduce the amount of outsourcing. So it has a lot of negative connotations associated with the industry. However, the industry does so much positive for the people, for the workers, for the economy, as you've mentioned, but also the communities around it. So we developed the Outsourcing Impact Report to try and highlight some of those incredible benefits that are generated as a direct result of the outsourcing industry, but also as an indirect result of the industry through all of the outreach programs that they do.
So what did you find, Derek? What are some of the good that outsourcing has done for communities where they thrive?
Yeah, look, we were really taken back by the submissions. We had 61 submissions. So this is a fairly early stage report. But what we hope is that over the years, more and more outsourcing firms will participate. The mission of the report is really to acknowledge all of the good that the outsourcing industry does collectively. And we built this report so that we could have accounts of the good that is being done, but also we created quite a rigid methodology so that we can actually count and compare the benefits of all of this with future years and, of course, different contributions. So really great results. We had over 61 submissions, and there were 707,000 direct beneficiaries as a result of these outreach activities. So we created this report, and effectively we structured it aligned with major UN initiatives such as community building, health and wellness, education, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so the report is structured, and everything is, really incredible results from the industry, which, to be honest, we knew going into this, but the report just helps categorize it and acknowledge all of this incredible positive activity that's happening.
Derek, just wanted to share some numbers. 41% of the entries focused on community building. 26.2% of submissions highlighted education initiatives, showing the role of BPOs in developing talent pipelines. Financial contributions actually totaled $5.5 million, which really shows you the willingness of BPO companies to invest in social causes. As you mentioned, 707,000 beneficiaries, 47,800 volunteer hours logged, and 98% of survey respondents believe outsourcing has a positive societal impact. What do you say, though, Derek, to critics, who claim that the harsh truth about outsourcing is that it's not really a mutually beneficial trade practice, but an outright labor arbitrage? You mentioned this earlier, exploiting countries with cheap labor conditions.
Yeah, I mean, this is the negative connotation of the industry. And look, I'm not surprised that it is out there.
Is it valid?
Anyone involved in the industry, absolutely not. Anyone in the Philippines, for example, can see the incredible economic boon that it has created as a result of all of this activity. It's now 8%, contributing 8% towards the GDP, and there is an argument that around about 3 to 5 additional people are supported indirectly as a result of the outsourcing industry. So incredible positive economic impact. And with positive impact, you get increasing salaries, you get a rising middle class, you get further education, you get second, third generations being educated better. So it's just such a positive industry. And we're actually seeing now, of course, the Philippines is one of the earlier countries to adopt outsourcing, but many, if not all, of the emerging countries are seeing the incredible benefits that it's having on the Philippines and India and all those major outsourcing destinations. And they all want to jump in as well. They are all trying to now grab a piece of the outsourcing pie because they see it as the golden goose for their economy.
Wow, golden goose for the economy. I wonder, Derek, what made you come up with this report, the impact review? Is it because you're seeing a greater pushback against outsourcing, not from the beneficiary countries, but from countries that are losing these jobs, like the US, where labor is more expensive?
Yeah, look, it's not a greater pushback. I have been in this industry 10 years now, and we have the world's leading outsourcing marketplace. And I have seen a consistent pushback from prospective clients. It's always been slightly controversial, and it's very polarizing, and that's always, it's unfortunate. And I really want to set about changing people's minds on the impact of outsourcing. You almost can't win with outsourcing. Americans might complain that either outsourcing is stealing their jobs, which is really bad, or outsourcing is unethical and it's slave labor. And so you just can't win. And I really wanted to make something formal that really had strong arguments against that, and really could very clearly illustrate the positive impact that outsourcing has directly on its own people, on its own workers, but also beyond that into the community and the country around it.
All right. You know how outsourcing, in theory, it's about making possible, you buy off the shelf practically any function you need to run a company. You want to start a budget airline, but don't want to invest in a huge back office, you outsource. I wonder, Derek, how do you see this practice evolving in the next few years? What are some of the big outsourcing trends and strategies that you see emerging, maybe starting 2024 next year?
Yeah, look, everything is leaning towards globalization, and everything is increasingly enhanced by technology. Everyone is online. You only need to look at the millennials and Gen Zs. They do everything online, which means that the traditional geographical limitations of where you're born, where you're sitting, does no longer limit where you work and to what economy you contribute. So for the emerging economies, such as the Philippines, for example, it is an incredible opportunity for people in the Philippines now to be able to work directly for the American economy, for the Canadian economy, Australian economy, and it is now becoming this global economy. For the users, for the employers, for the businesses, it is an incredible opportunity to source capable talent based on their abilities instead of where they were born or where they are sitting on the job on the day of the job interview. So it's the globalization, which is facilitated by technology, that is turning all of this on its head. And ultimately, this has been going 20, 30 years, but ultimately globalized employment will become the default instead of localized employment. And that means over the next 20 years, there's going to be another 40 to 60 million jobs coming offshore toward destinations such as the Philippines.
All right. On that optimistic note, at least for the Philippine side, Derek, always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for the insights this morning. Appreciate the time. See you soon.
Thanks, Michelle.